Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Mixed Mowers, the Mower Man. Hope you're doing well. Riley Boy's here today. Today's Saturday. We're going to be doing that Honda today, the one that I got going just the other day, did a carburetor build on it, and the drive doesn't work. We're going to have the gearbox out, roller out, and have a look into upgrading the gearbox on that. But before we get on, I've got a few parcels to do. Someone has bought me, off my Amazon wish list, a 10-pack of NGK B2LM spark plugs. So thank you very much for that. There was no name with that. Got no idea who it was. Yeah, it's Chinese. So if that was you, leave me a little message in the comments section below. Also, somebody bought me, 2 seconds, Riley Boy, a nice little jar of carburetor spray cleaner off my Amazon wishlist too. If you'd like to support me or Riley Boy along our YouTube journey, check out the Amazon wishlist below in the pinned comment section and go and buy us a little present or a little gift. Just to say thanks, that'd be cool. Yeah.
That would be nice. I've been that way.
You've been what?
That way.
He went to a duck race, yeah, for Riley's school to raise money for Riley's school. That was cool, wasn't it? Did our duck win?
Yeah.
It didn't. Got a parcel here. It didn't. This one just come in. Not sure. Hadn't opened it. A knife here, Riley boy. Yeah, got a knife. Yeah, buddy.
I know who's from.
Who's it from? It's not from Steve the Transit Camper. Nah, that's all you've been doing all day long. Let's open this one up.
Is it what that?
Yeah. Right.
What's it from?
I don't know.
It's from Kaaz, maybe?
All it says on it is Mixed Mowers and Riley Boys. All it says.
Where?
On here, look. So let's open that up. I've got no idea who it's from. I couldn't even tell you.
Stop!
Right, I've got a little love letter here, Riley Boy.
You're waiting?
2 seconds, mate. Got a call coming in. Who's that ringing me up?
Kaaz?
It's Mummy. We'll ring Mummy back in 2 seconds.
What's it for?
2 seconds. It says Mick.
You're waiting?
To Mick and Riley Boy, I hope all is well with the family. Here are those parts that I was given as a job lot. They're no use to me. Hopefully you can make some use of them. If not, fire them into the bin. There's also 2 things in here for Riley Boy for Easter. Keep the content coming, and lastly, thanks for all your help and advice I've gotten from me out of a few little pickles a few times. Hopefully you're getting down and dirty. We are. Many thanks from Stuart and Sam up in Scotland.
Who's Sam?
Stuart and Sam. Oh, what have you got in there? You got a big Kinder egg. What's this? Look. You got 3 Kinder eggs. So you got 3 small Kinder eggs, and you've got a nice big, it says scan meat, a nice big Kinder egg for Easter too. Daddy. So that's cool. Well done you. So what do you say to Stuart and Sam?
It's just...
Stuart and Sam.
No. Fire Sam.
Yeah, Fireman and Sam, yeah. Daddy. And he's given me, hang on. Let's have a look here. We've got some Scott's badges for mowers. We've got a couple of, looks like carburetors, not quite sure. They look, it could be LHP 16s, I think, not quite sure.
What else have you got?
So look, mate, 2 seconds, have a look. We've got a height control for an Atco or a Atco Admiral.
Twist.
We've got a coil, cool.
Whoa.
Got a nice coil. Mummy's ringing me again. 2 seconds, let me just put her on hold. She won't like that, but we're doing a video. This is off of it's a split roller. It could be off an Atco. I can't remember. I remember doing it. I think it's off an Atco Admiral 16. I think off the top of my head. Yeah.
I don't know.
With a belt in there. Hang on, buddy. Another Scott badge. Yes, this is definitely off an Atco Admiral. That's for the drive pulley for it. So these are off of Atco Admirals. A nice Atco belt tank as well. They're quite hard to come by.
It's open.
And a little tiny belt guard cover as well. So thank you very much, Stuart and Sam, for giving me some nice second-hand parts. As always, I'll put them into the old parts bin because you never know when you need them. So that's cool. So today we're doing the Honda, as I say, and we're going to be taking the gearbox out today and a roller out today and taking the gearbox apart to see what is failed in there. It might be a part 1, part 2 video. Part 1, take it out and have a look. Part 2 will be all the parts up, get it in, put it back together and go from there. If this is your first time watching Mixed Mowers and Mower Man, hit your subscribe button and whack the old bell. That way you'll be told next time we upload another video. So without further ado, let's get down and dirty and let's get this Honda lawnmower up on the bench, drive and gearbox out and see if we can't fix it. Okay, Honda's on the bench. Riley boy's gone in for a bit of lunch, so he may be back a bit later on. But obviously to Riley, lunch is much more important. First things first, what we've got to do is, this is quite a long process, okay? So please bear with me. I will try and make it as short as I can, but obviously we need to give you guys and girls as much information as possible on how to do this. So what we're first going to do is we're going to undo the side panellings on these machines, both sides. One screw here, one bolt here, and one bolt down in there. And we're just going to remove both sides, so it's no biggie. Anyone can do that. Let me get that done, and I'll be back to you in 2 ticks. But everything on here is either going to be quite tight, seized, or all that sort of stuff. But yeah, just remove this plastic cowling on this side and on the other, and I'll be back to you in 2 ticks. Okay, side cowlings now removed, both left and right hand side. As I say, it's just one 10mm here, one screw here, and one screw here. Phillips, both exactly the same on both machines, on both sides. Then going to remove this plastic cover at the back, and from what I can see is one 10mm bolt all the way down the centre down there. Undo that one, and that should release the bulk of this here. If I come across anything else, I'll let you know. Okay, so it was just that one 10mm bolt that that holds that cowling in, and once you remove that, you've got all this grass and debris up behind here. It's all going to be taken out, okay, cleaned up and what have you, get rid of all of that. And then you've got a little tiny circlip here, a little circlip C-clip here that's got to come off. And then we can start to take apart this this gearbox here of a drive shaft. There'll be a circlip just there, which has got to be taken off towards the front. And then that should then slip out that way once we've also, of course, disattached the back of it. So yeah, take that circlip out there, disconnect that, and then open this one up, and then just push that towards the front of the drive. That'll be your next step. Okay, so your circlip here, if you can't remove it, make sure that your fuel's turned off and that your spark plug is either removed or the HT is also removed as well. With that taken off or disconnected, you can then pull your pull cord very gently with the machine up in the air, and you just pull that over, and you'll see that shaft will then rotate, and that will then bring you around your circlip to a position about there where you can then get hold of it with a set of circlip pliers and then just shift it forward off of the shaft just there. And as you can now see, the little tiny circlip has now just been taken off of its shaft and just resting on the shaft that's here. So just take it off of its little keeper, and then that's all you have to do there, and that's your circlip there, which had a washer just behind it, just to hold that in place there. That comes off. So now we can now move on to the rear of the lawnmower. Okay, move on to the next part with a 13mm spanner, goes up around the back, and we're looking to disconnect this bolt just here. Okay, oh, how we loosen mine off just a touch, but that bolt just drifts out. You've got to put a 13 on the back and a 17 on the front. Drift them out. Now, you may notice I'm not using impact, so I don't want any of this to seize or to snap on me, okay? I don't fancy drilling anything out or replace any bolts, so just for the meanwhile, I'm just using sockets and spanners, only because when I put it back in together, I should be using copper slip to put it all back together. There's no telling the last time that this machine was actually given a bit of a happy birthday in that respect. So yeah, just drift this bolt out the back. Once you've got that out, that nut will fall off, and then that bolt will start to loosen up once we've done this one here as well. So that should be a 13, I believe. And then we're going to just repeat the process on the other side. There's 13mm up inside there somewhere. Where is it? It's a bit covered in dirt. I think that's locked on. And there's this one here to do as well. Let's turn that other spanner on the inside around. And that's spinning, or what that's doing. Let's go in now. Oh, that's how much tight that is. I can hear it whinging where it's had no treatment on it. So let me get this one out. This would be a bit long-winded, this one, because it's starting to lock up on me. I don't want it to snap. So let me get this one out, and I'll be back to you in 2 ticks. Okay, I've taken the bolt out the other side. Still got to do this one here yet. So I'm going to put the lawnmower onto its lowest setting, and that spring will just come all the way off here. See that? If it's on its lowest setting, it won't come off. It just bring it all the way back, and that little spring will then come off as well. Then got to drift out this one here, which is a 17, which we were mucking about with earlier on. Now they're not threaded all the way, but eventually, once you get it sort of halfway out, it will just fall out. And the roller's starting to come out already now, although I haven't disconnected the cable yet. Here comes the bolt. So the bolt's now out. You can just retain this one here if you like, not a problem, but just remember where that goes, the orientation, and put the nut back on that big bolt as well. So you're just sort of keeping everything together so you know exactly where it all goes. Right, next, around the back of the machine. Okay, now around the back of the machine, the roller has come out this side and it's loose this side. It's now just pretty much hanging on the shaft only. Got quite a long extension bar on here. Just going to want to disconnect this cable now. So put that on and just loosen that one off. And the same with his brother. Like that. There goes the bracketry for the gearbox. And then that will then give you the manipulation. There's a little tiny circuit there which can stay on. It's no big drama. But now at least we can now just retain this spring back. There's a little tiny spring on here. Let me show you. There's no point me telling you. Let me show you. Little tiny retaining spring just here. Just push that back and then lift this barrel out of its keeper, and then that'll be the cable then removed. Okay, with your cable now removed, I put the bolts back in as well, so that's no biggie, and the cable's just sat up here somewhere with a spring on it, so just remember the orientation of that. So now, with the circuit removed at the top end, your gearbox will now literally, boink, just pop on out like that. So there's your gearbox and roller. Let me now just remove the mower off of the table, and then we can then start to inspect this little gearbox, and we go from there. Okay, gearbox now up on the bench, all on its own. So just make sure you know which way orientation goes. This is your height adjustment end, short roller this end, long roller the other. So if you're not sure, just do what I do. Just take photographs. Next thing to do is to remove this 13mm bolt off of the end, like so. Out that comes. Now I will be providing copper slip on all of these fixtures and fittings later on. Okay, all my parts are going into a magnet tray, so I know exactly where they all are. That will come off. So on here, you just got a little tiny keyway, which just sits just inside there, so don't lose that. And that will sit inside this shaft down the bottom here as well, okay? So make sure you're putting all your bits together, so you know exactly where everything goes. You've got a bearing on here as well, and a little tiny... on your shaft, little tiny bearing there. Was there a washer on there, Mick? Sometimes there's a little tiny flat washer on the back of them. It went that way there. Oh, no, that way where? I mean, that way there. No, there's not a little tiny washer on this one. I think there should be a little tiny washer on there, but there's not. So now what we need to do, we now need to separate this roller up. Now, sometimes they come off quite easily, other times they don't, okay? It's as simple as that. This one looks like it's going to be well on there. Now, there is a shaft this end. You don't really want to be clouting a lot of that as hard as you can. What I'm going to do is get a piece of wood and just try and drift some of this out. But before I do any of that, just going to prepare some of this surface here, just get a bit of a clean up, bit of an oil up, just so I can start to drift it. Okay, just put some penetrating fluid here and on both sides of the gearbox here. I've got a piece of timber here. I don't want to damage this roller if I can help it, and a soft blow hammer or mallet. I'm just going to start to knock this back best I can. I don't want to damage the roller, you see. Just slowly start to tease it, and it will come eventually. But this is where the time is going to be consumed. Okay, it's just trying to get this just to drift out. So plenty of taps. Just keep going with it, and eventually this part of the roller will surrender and give itself up to you. So just keep persevering with that. Bit of prying, but just go careful not to damage the actual roller itself. Okay, hands up everybody that can admit defeat. Yeah, that's me. So this bottom roller is not coming off, people. I have whacked it, I've beat it, I've thrown it around the shed, done everything I can to it, and it will not come off of that spline. You see where I have actually hit it on the side of the roller there? Just a little tiny bit burred over, but nothing essential. But the advantage is because the long roller came off, that has now given me access to the top of this gearbox. So by removing this circlip just here, I can now at least split this gearbox open and replace the parts that I need. I'm hoping the gear here is not broken, which I very much doubt it will be. It's generally the clutch this end and the slave gear this end. So all we've got to now do is undo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bolts there, get them undone, and then we'll start to pry this gearbox apart. But yeah, I can't take this off. It will not come off, and I'm not going to damage the gearbox or the roller by trying to achieve that. The idea is to fix this machine, so if I can't get that off, it's going to stay there, and it can sulk until it's blue in the face. It's as simple as that. So undo these bolts and I'll be back to you in 2 ticks. Okay, we are back. So I did encounter some issues, I'm not going to lie to you. It's been an absolute pig. So this one here, that snapped off, that's been drilled through, and one over the back here also, that snapped off. And I've actually done quite a bit of damage to that, but I'm hoping to get around it. It should off, and as always, the drill bit likes to go down the side of the aluminium bolt, you see. So, but what I intend to do with that one is drill a very, very small hole through here, and that'll hold that shut just there. That's the idea. This is going to be on the bottom of the gearbox, and I will not be putting oil back into here. I'm going to be putting some runny grease into this, which is what Mend It Man does, and I believe it does a much better job because it's nowhere near as runny. So there is oil in here, and the oil is of a silverish colour, which means there are some bits that have been wearing. But if I can now split this casing, which should be golden, I can put a nut and bolt through there, that's no drama. Pack it with washers, that'll hold that one down, not worried about that. This one here, I haven't actually hit the casing inside, so that should be okay. As I say, I might just put a little tiny, drill a hole through here and through here, as close to this casing as I can get it, and then clamp it with these two here. So that should be more than enough. But yes, this has been an absolute pig of a job so far. It's not for the faint heart, it really ain't. And this machine has obviously seen no maintenance outside of warranty. So now what I'm hoping to do is to split this casing. Now there is a little tiny rubber ring in there, which you need to be a bit careful of. This has got to come all the way up. I might just have to clean this off here. This is a bit dirty here. It's never going to come up above this shaft as it should do. But if I can get that casing just to lift off its pins, and then hopefully we can get inside this gearbox here. So let me just open this one up a bit more best I can, and then as and when I progress, I'll come back to you. Okay, so I'm going to be honest. This has been an absolute pig of a job, okay, and it's not gone well. So here I have the remnants of the gearbox. This small roller will not come off of this shaft, and I have tried everything. I've tried heating, prying, bashing with little hammers, bashing with extremely large hammers, soaking. I've tried everything to get that off, and even Mend It Man says, yeah, they can be like that. So this one here is now no good. But what I wanted to do, I wanted to actually look inside this gearbox to inspect it, but I couldn't get it apart because the back side, the little tiny groove that goes on here, that is sheared off, which I drilled out, but I still couldn't separate this gearbox because it has a circlip the other side, so it wouldn't come apart. So that gearbox and roller assembly is now useless. However, I did retrieve some parts, and here is the dog clutch. Now, if you're successful, unlike me, I like to show my mistakes if I can. Here's the dog clutch. And you can see on the top of the dog clutch just here, you can see that there are wear marks on top of a dog clutch, and that's where it's been slipping. Okay, right on here, it's not sharp and a good edge. So it's been worn for a little while on all four corners there, or three corners of that dog clutch. Okay, so the clutch is actually worn, and that little piece for about 30-40 quid, that would have repaired that. But however, I have got some good pieces out of it. I have got a good clutch fork, I've got a pinion gear, I've got a main gear, and I've got a tooth as well. I've got a spare chain if I can take it off of there. So I've got some good spares, and all of these are around about 30 to 40 quid a go. So I have got some good bits there. But hey ho, I just wanted to show you that it doesn't always go to plan. And I really did try, and you can see on this roller in particular, I've now mutilated the roller. It's mutilated, okay? Well, I really have tried to get it out, but I tried punching it through the other side, whacking it with a hammer, and it's just on these splines. It's sat on the splines there on this side. I dare say it's never come off in its life and never been maintained. And these are a maintainable part. So when it goes in for a service, these should be taken apart, oiled up, greased up, separated, and copper out, slip, and it's had none of that in its life, I dare say. So unfortunately, that is the end of the story with this roller gearbox, but I have found another one. So on the bench, we now have a donor gearbox and roller assembly. Now, I'm not 110% certain as of yet this is all going to fit. Because this bracket here does look slightly different to mine, but it's nearly there. I'm hoping that will fit onto my mower. If you remember, mine came with this little attachment here, which is it's not a million miles different, but it's a bit different. And if I go on that pin there to there, the distance is slightly longer, so I may have to use this part or this part to make that distance up. We shall see, but that only just supports the gearbox. So I'm hoping for the price I paid for this, and these aren't cheap normally, but the fellow who I did a deal with, he's very good to me, and we try and trade off of each other best we can. So hopefully I can make this work. Before I do anything, I'm going to try and take this little tiny nut out just down here, and I'm going to just make sure there is either oil or grease in this machine, in this gearbox. If there's not, I'll be filling it up accordingly, because I don't want to be having to go through all this again of having to take it apart just to grease it, just to put oil in here. Now, he did say it came off of a working machine with a very strong drive, but the deck was broken. So I'm hoping that's the reason why it's been stripped out. He said it's all good, Mick, and so I do deal with him quite a bit, so I do trust him. But we shall see now. So I'm going to get the lawnmower back up, and then we'll try to fit this one onto the Kaaz. This is actually off of a Kaaz. It says good working order, Kaaz. This is a 2003 gearbox. All the bearings all good, he said, everything. So let's get the mower back in, and we'll try and fit this one into my lawnmower. I'm hoping it's all going to fit, but we shall see. I may have bought a complete lemon here in regards to it doesn't fit full stop, and I'm now stuck with a lawnmower, no roller and no gearbox, and this one as additional. So we shall see. Wish me luck. Right, so I've got the mower back in now. I'm just going to try and offer this gearbox in. I might have to just remove this cable first off of this one here. Let's see if there's any differences. There shouldn't be. Where's my cable for the drive on this one? That's the first thing to sort out, is if the drive is actually different or not with regards to the cable end. Where's my cable? Drive cable. So the first thing I want to do is figure out this drive system, because this looks slightly different to the one that I had on the original. I think it does look different. I've got to try and remove this spring. Just trying to compare the two. The springs look the same-ish, but the end is different. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep this cable, I think, and put that cable onto that part of the drive onto this one here. If this end is the same, generally they are, but generally they are about the same. Looks a little bit different in regards to how that all hooks up. Which is the drive, Mick. That's a drive, so that's got a little tiny eyelet. No, that's okay. See, what we're going to do is I'm going to remove this cable here. That can be redundant. I'm going to put this cable on, okay? Save mucking about. So let's disconnect all this lot up. Feed that cable up in. That one can go for a Burton. That's got to go up that way. Into there. Let me bring it back a bit so you can see what's going on. I don't want you guys missing too much if I can help it. Let's bring this in there just so you get a bit of a gist of what's going on here. And then that gearbox can then go up into there. Let's bring all those cables out of the way. It seems to want to go halfway there. which is good. That's the height adjustment end, so that's all good. And that end's got to go round onto that bevel. So yeah, that's roughly where it's going to go. Just got to get these bolts all bolted up in onto here, and I'll come back to you once I've done that. Okay, I've met a stumbling block, and it's a fail at the moment. I have to come back to this one. So it was nearly there. It's only out by about, oh, it's not out by far. It's out by a little bit. But looking at this roller here, you can see I have bought the wrong roller off of a whim. It was cheap enough, but it's about 2 inches too short. So that's actually the wrong roller for said mower. So that is a bit of a pickle. I can always sell this on. That's not an issue. But yeah, it's the wrong one. So that's a shame. But never mind. It is what it is. You know, these things are sent here to try us. So Honda Lawnmower, I'll have to come back eventually another day when I can find another gearbox and roller for it, if I can. I think this is a 21-inch roller mower, and I dare say this one come off of an 18-inch is what actually come off. So let me just measure that up. Blades, yeah, 21-inch. This roller is a 18-inch, give or take, all as far as a crow flies. And then this roller here, I can put it all back together as best I can. This roller here is yeah, about 19 and a half inch. So yeah, it's the wrong size took roller. What a shame. Hey ho. So if anyone knows where you can get a roller and gearbox one of these, give me a shout. It's a 2007 or 8 model, I think, 21-inch machine. So I'm after a roller and gearbox assembly for that. So if anyone knows, give me a shout and I'll hook you up. But as of now, this one is dead in the water until I can find another bit of kit for it. It's a shame, but there you go. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. Okay, so that's the end of this video, I'm afraid. I have bought, not a lemon, but I bought a roller that doesn't actually fit this machine. And it looked all to be there, apart from some similarities. I didn't even think to measure the roller. But I'm about 1.25 inches short, so that's no good to me or anybody else. But I have now got a spare roller, which I can sell on anyway, and I got it for cheap, so I can still make good money on that, hopefully to buy the donor piece of equipment that I actually need. So if you do know where you can buy a second-hand roller gearbox assembly for this, as I say, it's got to be, which one is it? It's got to be about 19.5 inches long, the roller, and this one is only 17.75. So yeah, shame, eh? Because it's a really good engine too. But hey ho, it will live to fight another day. I should bag all the parts up, put it in the store, and when something comes in, it'll ride another day. If not, I can put the engine on something else, but I'd rather leave the engine on here because it's a fantastic bit of kit. But there you go. Not much more I can do. I do have a Cobra up the top, but I think that is only a small machine and roller as well, and I think that is slightly different, so I need to find out what to do. But there you go. These things are sent to try us, and I never tried to take my mistakes out. This does happen from time to time, and you have to pay the price. But there you go. All in all, this machine stands me at about £150, so it's not a great deal. I could just sell the engine for more than that on its own. And with the roller as well, I can definitely get my money back. So I'm still quids in, just need to find the right roller and gearbox for this, and I should be on a winner. So if it's the first time you're watching Mixed Mowers, Mower Man, hit the subscribe button or whack the old bell, set notifications to all, that way you'll be told next time I upload another video. I look forward to the next episode of Mixed Mowers very, very soon, but until then, people, don't forget, much more importantly, take it easy.